Welcome again, folks, to Fatah's Labs, bringing you the intro video for sensor station creation using the Raspberry Pi. And the reason we are using that is because we need to have it for the Wi-Fi support and programming that it can provide. And we're going to bring it out of its electrostatic bag, and you will see that it's got quite a lot of ports on it. 1 Ethernet, 4 USB, 1 HDMI, 1 micro USB, and we've got the cords here for all of that. The micro USB for power, the HDMI for display, of course, right in front of us, and the important thing is the micro SD card right here, and that's going to be our hard drive, and we're going to need to get one put in to install the operating system for the Raspberry Pi right here. Now, I made this by formatting it to FAT32, and you can buy one, but you might as well just make one. It's just easier. And so now for the pins, we're going to use a cobbler, they call that, where the general purpose input-output pins can get put into this plug here, and then the male end goes into a breadboard so that we can, in fact, more easily connect wiring and sensors to it in order to make the station more easily set up and operatable. And so then we want to just make sure that we get the female end into the GPIO pins of the Pi in place, and there we have it. And so what I'm going to be doing later on after I get the operating system installed is with this breadboard, I'm going to be able to set up something like a basic LED blink program using the Python that's already going to be on the Pi when the OS gets installed. And I use a big breadboard because it's just much easier to add on different sensors and peripherals to it. So there's no lack of space, and so it just causes ease of construction. Now then, we are going to be doing this right after we set up the installation of the OS, but I just want to be sure that it is configured properly for less work later. And so, yeah, I will be using these things right here. We've got an LED, a resistor, and a jumper wire, but that will all come later. So for now, we just need to plug in the HDMI cable so we can see what we're doing when, in fact, we plug in the power micro USB to get the system running for its first boot up. But first, we're going to have to install the OS of Raspbian. So we'll turn that display on, so now we are just going to plug in, and we should be seeing the startup menu. Alright. We'll get a lot of checks and OKs, and it will tell us that we're going to need to select the OS that we want, which would be Raspbian, so I have to plug in the USB keyboard and mouse so I can make the selection. And click on the Raspbian, and then we just say install. And we say yes. Alright. Now, while we are waiting for the files to copy onto the micro SD card, let me tell you why I am providing these tutorial videos. Now, many have told me, why are you doing this, Ozzy? I mean, I could just buy one of these stations from a store. And the reasons why they tell me that is because there is a time factor, or a lack of time for the person that wants to monitor their environment. And there's also a convenience factor where it's just nice to have it immediately supplied to you along with support. Now, my answer to that is, why not? You save time and money. Admittedly, it is a longer-term investment, but it does guarantee returns. And the reason for that is that you can customize and calibrate your station, and you've got a much more limited type of situation when you do a store-bought one. And there is a cost factor, because the system and support are much cheaper in cost and time, or at least in a bit of the longer run for the time. But nonetheless, you know, you can get a lot of support online. Plenty of people can provide libraries and troubleshooting tips, and other people that have made these can easily give you a lot of the information you need, as in coding, or just, you know, if you email them directly, you can get, you know, good feedback from that. And there's also a networking fact where you can go online and with neighbors that want to, you know, make some kind of a sensor station, and that way people kind of collaborate and they can in fact develop ideas and innovations. So therefore, I would say that these videos can hopefully ease the cost of time and convenience that is initially required in order to delve into the electrical engineering and programming required. So if you were to follow the videos more or less step by step, you will certainly have something usable and hopefully very beneficial. And for that reason, I am going ahead with these videos in order to give people a more wide range acknowledgement and knowledge as to what the potential is for these type of circuit boards and sensors that are made available to the public. And now that being said, let us resume. Hello again, folks, and there we have it. The OS is installed successfully. And now, let us boot this up for the first time. And you can see all the data is checking and all OKs are being shown. Just all kernels and devices. Just running tests to be sure that all of the information is non-contaminated. And then we should see a startup screen with just the Raspberry Pi and a bunch of options on where to go. We got a cursor, and there was the Pi, and there we go. So, you can see we've got a typical like graphical user interface going on, and the upper right gives us the internet connection option, and currently it's not finding anything, so we'll give that a minute. So if we click on that, we should be able to scan and find the local Wi-Fi. Give that just a minute here. And there we have it, the 14741. And I don't think it's going to mask the password. So if I type something in, yeah, I'm not going to do this on the web. I'll turn that off for now, because for right now I want to test the Pi's general purpose input-output pin assembly and the Python programming, just to make sure that the assembly has occurred successfully. So I've got an LED, a resistor, and a jumper wire on the breadboard, and I'm putting in an SD card right now into one of the Raspberry Pi's USB ports. As you can see, it's reading the removable medium, and I'm going to open it up in the, we want there's a Pi Blink PY right here. It's a very simple LED program that you can just make with using a word processing editor and just save it as a file name with the PY extension, and I will show you how to run that in the Raspberry Pi. You simply need to go into terminal once I confirm that I've got that Pi Blink, and I will show you here that it's as simple as it is. That is the coding needed to turn the LED light on and off. And in the terminal, we'll just go and do a list of all the directories, and we can see that the Python program is there. So in order to run that, we'll be doing sudo for administrative permission with Python and the name of the file, and then we will press enter, and it should start lighting the LED. And go. There we go. The light is doing the 1 second off and on, and it just tells me that the connection is fine and that the Pi is functioning the way it should be initially. And then to quit that, we'll just do a Control-C, and that would be that. So thank you all so much for watching, everyone, and please give me commentary and requests as to what you'd like to see done and added to this. I will be seeing you in a little while, and I can tell you that I could do something like this Arduino, but we'll do that for another time. The reason I mentioned the Arduino is because it's often a circuit board that's used in conjunction with the Raspberry Pi to give the better real-time sensor input of data. The Raspberry Pi is like especially good for communication, but that will be another time. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to see, be it sensor or circuit board, and until then, bye.